Well, today I am going to introduce to you my teacher, Annam, who is with us today on Zoom. She's in Hood River, Oregon, at the Heartgate Sanctuary. And the Heartgate is a residence of oneness study where her students can come and spend time in instruction, ashram style. That's where I went last year after Easter Sunday and spent a week. I met Annam by divine appointment back in the 90s when I was in northwestern Montana. I was working in Kalispell at Montana Coffee Traders, and she came in to order an espresso and invited me to the Wednesday satsangs that she was having at her home in Montana. So I lived there for a while, she lived there for a while, I moved away, and then she moved to Oregon. And that began my life's study, my life's oneness study. And my life was changed forever. I went to Wednesday groups, I had private sessions, I went to the intensives that she offered. And when one comes in the presence of a divine provocateur, as I am using the word, that brings out and brings forth the awareness and feeling in all levels of knowing who you are as spirit and knowing that divine light living within us with skin on. She has been an awakened mystic since her early childhood. At age 7, she says she was enfolded in the Yeshua presence. And that Yeshua presence, Yeshua is Jesus, right? Yes. So that presence enfolded her and has been instructing her ever since. And it quickened her as a teacher and to partner with the ones that are gathered in her presence in a way that transcends and dissolves unworthiness, human frailty, and all of that. And I just can't, it's really hard to describe, but being in her presence, I really feel such pure love. And so I wanted to share her with you today, okay? Because she brings us to any, awareness of our God nature, our awareness of spirit, and that goodness that is within, okay? And she calls herself an Advaitist Christian, and Advait is non-dual. And as I have worked with her over the years, I have experienced that direct hit of divine love that has surpassed my intellect and dissolved many, many times the sense of unworthiness or the sense of whatever past baggage that I had carried with me. So because of this, this study is an ongoing practice, like our spiritual practice is an ongoing study. That practice of emptying our ego mind and surrendering it to the holy side. That's what she instructs, and that's the instruction I've been in for decades. So here's a few quotes from a book called Vessel, which was compiled about the teachings and the study, and it says this: every word and activity of this teaching is directed toward knowing ourselves as love. The path to love is about letting go of everything we think we know and to open to what love is. And the last quote I want to share is, wherever love is, there is no room for anything else. Love devours negativity into itself, and only love remains. So today is not a typical type of sermon. It's an experience, an exchange of that holy love within each one of us, with Annam as our guide. And she would like to see who you are, so in order to do that, I would like to request if you would just stand up and turn around to the camera and just give her a namaste. So she can see us rather than a tile of what's up here on the screen. So, all right, thank you. And so I turn this now over to Annam.
That is amazing. I welcome us all to the steadying of the God level, to the show and tell of full adoration at that level. There's a fabulous term that we may not know when we first encounter it. It's the term of your office of being. It's the principe, the inner director of all your God level office. As you study into this, it's both learning that it is here for you and assuring you and assuming you as one with that keeper's nature. You are the keeper of that possibility. That's almost the correct term. To be who shows love to this very ornery world in ways that do not diminish anyone. Our mind needs to understand this holy office is pre-sent to assure you, all of us, the accurate manner in which we are made. Every one of you is made to be in the office of the holy. I often start people with understanding that we are layered awareness. We don't come from just here. And this has no real sense of the holiness. This is the gadabout, the one who is sure it's a miniature of some kind and has very little office, if any, on earth. So what can we do? We are only a flea on God's angel's arm and shoulder, moving about, but not at all stable in knowing why we are there. We just assume, we assure ourselves that we are there by God's grace. It's not a simple meaning. We are to be assured, that seems to be our word of the day, assured and addressed in the highest purpose of knowing you serve without even meaning anything personal about them. You serve by admonishing nothing until God level rests in your awareness in a way that just shoves you to the floor and makes you speak or act. We are aware of this only on occasion, because most of the time our awareness is self-appointing and self-figuring. and selfish pointed at ourselves, even when with a neighbor. Sure, we are a distraction of the real and not at all assured in our present with people, nor presence. What I'd like you to notice is that there is a shimmer of interest in the divine nature, your nature, your ruler. It has no countenance. It seems to have a telepathic quality of wishing you would be in its framing, in its wording. But it seems silent for most of your incarnation. It has no loudspeaker. Until you are love, it has no voice. When love engages you, dissolves your habit of fleeing from holiness, you cannot stop the word from coming out to your lips. And your heart rejoices in it. Ask yourselves, right now, your individual self, to be as one nature. You have the holy at the highest vibrational, purposeful side of your great awareness. But it is not responsible for you yet. You are responsible for that. You are to make room in your head for that light to open it up. It's an enlightenment, not a cleaning. All the lights go on. But it doesn't make you look, it makes you engageable. If your light is filled with God, then light you shall be. Your dim light filled with the whole light, it shoves through your mind and out your entire equipment of nerves into the field around you, and through that field to all of us. It just moves. It touches us. It illumines us together. You are each and every one made visible to us when you let that light come in and through you. That light is God's great nature that illumines your part without you knowing it. It just starts. We engage then before words begin. We engage before we seem to meet physically. When we are to encounter, we are motivated before we encounter to have something of an entire playlist of how to be together. We don't actually own that, other than a sense of celebration when we meet. A sense of rightness to meet. In this sense of rightness, that fear of each other, that distraction of worry that we're not going to be able to think of anything appropriate, that just is seen as that little flea, a bit of an oddity, an enemy of the real you. Enemy is a strange and funny word here, but it's so. It decides to be a self instead of an entirety of God-light. The distraction ends when we remit all of our mind and nerves to the highest level of being. It has no issue of any such word as I. It's just light. Nothing of this is easy. We're too easily distracted. We're too easily punished by severe circumstances, whether directly or indirectly felt. We're too sure that there is nonsense around us and that we will be met by cynics or pessimists or needy people, and we are unsafe as we move about. So we think. But our mind is God-made to encounter all evil. And there I love the word because you can spell it backwards and it means live. And take what has tried to live by itself and remake it into living in unified light. In the unity light, God moves quickly through our sight. We see deliberately that there is light to be put on every topic. Great light, not small light. Great love light, unity light. Love admires and casts a great spell on the holy level of God. In an issue of meaning that lets love enter you deliberately as God made, Son of love, Son of good, Son of use. Pretty much that's everything. Now, as you enter more completely into this stalemate of being a human, you may find it begins to cloud up. It's not a simple mind. It's not established in light. It's established in ideas. So let the permanent light enter and live fully in your nervous system. Let it happen now, and you will find you are aided by love. Let it happen without your thinking about it. That means you widen, you illumine that God layer of wisdom by your intrigue with it. You let light fill you up. And you will be guided like the shepherd, the magi, to meet God in the cradle everywhere. The return of love to earth. And you will worship it and help it come forth, not only in small children, but in the elderly. And those who felt lost. And those who felt God wasn't here, and there is no such way to even call anything by that absurd sound, God. But God is the great strategy of unity. It is comprehensive in its way of presenting God level into the heart that is innocent. Deep within each, and that means you. Very quiet. You are as well that beginning of love on earth. Always fresh. Always just beginning. Always here, made of the above. It is your ruler in ways that are gentle and forthright. It is your guardian and guide. It is your mind made up of oneness. It is what keeps harm of distraction away. It is what keeps you love. Who love is. I would have you notice in your very bones, every one of us is afraid we may be too tired. Too alone. Too soft. Too restricted by beliefs before and others around us. So know that that is, and this is, just a passing, a phase, dealt not for the experience of living as form, but for the expulsion of the harm. You are like an angel come to earth then, abiding here to soften the hardships by your present love. And the light all the time, unwaveringly bright, will help that be so. It will clean your mind, even though I said it didn't come for a cleaning. It sharpens it, it illumines it. It makes your mind a believer in wholeness. So powerful that it's not a duty, it's just a way of being. It's natural, healthy, vibrant. And without knowing why this should ever happen for you, you suddenly know what to do, how to do things, how to research, how to move in the moment instead of rushing toward one. This is called astonishing good. So wide awake that your usefulness is ongoing. There is no dimming. There's no time, even when you're taking a bath, when you are not full of this love. And it moves, as I said earlier, it meets those you will meet in flesh later. It predetermines the way love shall move and form answers, breath by breath. I would have you, as I do, love God as that holiest I am, preceding the self that says I. So open to that there's no other that can bend your mind to a direct phase out from that love. Indirectly, as you appear to be told then, do this man, this person, this work you're doing, indirectly you will feel the nudge of oneness, respecting your play and breathing into your heart and mind. You are my soul. You are my soul. I move because of you. I move indirectly. You will not know the moves I make. You are my soil of God. For that is the meaning given for the word soul. You are my soil, that upon which and in which good shall be made and brought forth. All you need do is love that I am with all your holy heart, all of your unholy mind, and awe of your holy soul. So even the unholy welcomes holiness. I would have you and I bow into this with the pleasure and rest needed to make the very stiff climb back into the alignment of the all you are, all you is, your real nature being. Let your alignment restore you. May this be your day, your restoration, your faith made wealthy, full of the intent to be this love. And it's light. Amen. Thank you.